The Pistons are the basketball champions of the world.
Detroit, it's time. It's playoff time, Detroit. Let's go to work.
Shout out Detroit. I got to buff up, you know what I'm saying? Detroit, I'm all the way in. Detroit Pistons, I'm all the way in. Let's do it.
What's up, Pistons fans? It is the best POD in the 313, the Buff Song podcast, coming fresh off of the Pistons opener, an opener that we were super excited for. We were all extremely bullish on us beating the Bulls, but that didn't happen. The Pistons put up one of the stinkiest halves of basketball that I've ever seen in my life. I have several thoughts about it. As to why it happened. They did end up only losing by 4 points, but I think that's deceptive. So, I mean, we can just go through what we thought about this game. Why did this loss occur, and how can it be avoided next time? I thought first and foremost, uh, Pistons did not come ready to play at
No.
all. Not even a little bit. Uh, they look like they were way too cool for school. I'll tell you that. They look like the guy that thinks he's better than everybody else on the basketball court, playing super nonchalant, and the Bulls were just eating us up about it. You guys agree?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's a lot of things I want to say. Valley, you were there at the game in Chicago with your beef stew jersey on. How did I mean, all the back cuts, all the Josh Giddey just run to the rim once again, Vooch wide open a million times. How did that look in person?
I'll tell you, it was infuriating. That's how it looked. Because it seemed so easy for the Bulls to get what they want. You talk about like, especially in the clutch, those little flip shots Vucevic got. You talk about the four open threes he hit to start the game. Infuriating watching Giddey just barrel in and spin and be met with little to no resistance. I thought we got blown by. Every single person was blown by, especially out the gates. And with us not being ready out of the gates, I think the Bulls were more than ready, and their pace, they played so fast. A really, really good tempo. They played a pretty good game, I thought, Chicago. And I think we were just nowhere near ready for the speed that the Bulls came out the gate with. But in terms of at the stadium, it was just kind of mind-boggling as to how it's that easy. Like, how are you getting a wide open shot every single time down? It
It
was
was
it was a
it was
mind-boggling.
crazy. It didn't even there was no like complex offense that the Bulls would run. It would
No,
just be
it was a backdoor cut.
one guy would cut and then he would be alone underneath the basket somehow. I don't I don't get it. Like what's his
So,
name?
I just think, especially with Buzelis, getting beat time and time again on the backdoor cut on him, I thought was unacceptable. Um, yeah, he played great, by the way. Buzelis is a hell of a player, but he wants to get to the basket, right? That's the majority of his game, and here he is being free to cut every single time, and it's not like you said, Connie, it's not anything intricate. It's a backdoor cut, and we're not up for it. We can get into it more about the specifics as to perhaps why it was so open, but I was just blown away at how easy it was for the Bulls to get what they wanted in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, let's get more into it because it seemed like the center was ending up in absolutely no man's land for those cuts. Like, it was Duran at first and then Stu, where they would try to make an effort to get over there, but then they're leaving Vucevic 5 feet open, and he's just knocking down open three-pointers. Along with this, uh, I mean, Duran came out there. He's the guy that I mainly thought looked like he was too cool for school. He thought it was going to be easier than it was. I thought he had like two nice dunks to start the game, but also two fouls in 2 minutes, and then he was out of there. Just letting three-pointers go up and not rebound. Like that's the other thing, rebounding. Like this team has shown to be an excellent rebounding team, a team that beats the hell out of people, and we are just getting bullied by the Chicago Bulls, man. Like
Did you see the rebounding numbers at halftime?
no. I mean,
Chance
we ended
points
up,
like 14-0, right at half.
35 to 18 in rebounds at halftime. Out rebounded
Yeah,
by
I mean,
17 at
that's
half.
just
Durant had
purely,
0 rebounds at halftime.
that's
that's
purely
just
an effort
effort.
thing. That's
Yeah.
purely an effort thing.
100%. I also think Another aspect of the rebounding is I think we just really lack size when it came down to it. I thought there was also a lack of box outs and like theme overall is what there was lacking, especially in the first half, was just effort when it came down to it. Um, Lazy closeouts, getting blown by in the closeout, not boxing out, not getting cutters. I think it was just the fundamentals, and you could see the difference between the first and that second half. But I think really what it came down to in that first half specifically, Jalen Duren was horrendous. You talk about Tugel for school. I don't even know if I would describe it as that. He seemed uninterested. He did not seem like he wanted to be on that basketball court. And, completely contrary to what Cade is saying, how we're so ready. We've been working all summer. We're ready to show it. And then I almost think that those two lobs were bad for Jalen Duren. He thought, oh, this is gonna be such a free
What I'm
season.
saying.
First two possessions are pick and roll alley oops. I almost think that mentally maybe messed him up. Bit better in the second half, but I'm not gonna lie, the concerns with Duren has always been the defense, and that was an abysmal performance from Jalen Duren. I think no pointing fingers or anything. I think it's a collective effort for how poorly we played, but he is a significant contributor to that.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Yeah.
known to let Vooch cook him, right? Vooch gets big games against us, but then he gave it back to him on the other end in the past, and that just like did not happen today. He played less than 20 minutes, and it wasn't just foul trouble. I mean, one positive, Stu played awesome. Stu was
Oh, yeah, we'll
amazing.
get to we'll get to the positives.
Yeah,
We'll get to the
yeah, we'll get to
positives.
the
We're being
positives,
negative
but
first, and then we'll get
I
there.
think like to me, like I mean, Malik Beasley, can you come back on the
Oh my
team? Because
God, bro.
Duncan
The
Robinson, man, like he's a smart player, but like he has too many like games where he's just a zero
I
on
don't
offense.
know what was like. What was the offense looked incredibly hard today. Like
It looked
No
looked
one was
close.
moving.
Duncan Robinson did not get a single good three-pointer. Like all of them were his own like creation. He had to do stuff off the dribble. Um, there was no action. Val, you look like you want to say something about that.
I mean, it's we said before the season, Gabe, you said like there'll be days he goes 0 for 7, there's days he goes 7 for 8, or one of you said that. And like, isn't that just case in point? Like he's still
No, but
a
like
huge like
that's sure. Like he's gonna miss shots sometimes. He was getting incredibly difficult shots. There was no like
I didn't see a single cut like in the first half. Like it was just the
yeah.
classic Cade at the top, people standing in the corners. No one moved in the middle. There was no screens. It's just like
it was
let's
I
watch
thought
Cade, right?
I
And
thought our
incredibly
Cade, I mean,
reminiscent
Cade
of Sim.
himself, like he did not have a good game today. He made some tough shots, but like Cade was not on it. Again, he looked a little too cool for school, and that 3-pointer, man, looks the same as last year. A little hunchback three that was just. I mean, that last possession of the game where we were in it, and I told Hattie's like, yeah, Cade's gonna take a three and it's gonna miss, and it was exactly what happened.
On that last possession, I was almost less upset about the Cade three, which I didn't love. I
The
hated the
Tobias three.
Tobias three right afterwards, where he had some time, but he took it like I don't know, he must have just not known what the clock was. But
must have been.
yeah,
I thought speaking of our offense overall in general,
yeah, let's
I
go
thought
back
I
to
mean
that.
I know a lot of our offense comes from our defense, which is our identity, and when that's not there, the offense, makes sense it's lacking. But I just think that there was such an extreme lack of movement, both off ball, but also the ball itself. I feel like it was just a slow offense. It seemed incredibly easy to guard. And I really was hoping for more ball movement, off ball movement, especially with the addition of Robinson. Because I genuinely am not concerned about Robinson going 0 for 6, right? Like this is a reason this is his eighth season in the NBA, and it's only because he can shoot. Not worried about him missing shots. He will make them. But it's the fact that our offense just was so slow. It really, really concerns me how we're going to be without Ivy for these first 15, 20 games of the season. Um, I don't know. I thought Karis LeVert was pretty half decent as that backup ball handler, at least in the second half. I don't really have an explanation as to what went on in that first half. I don't think a single person, other than maybe Isaiah Stewart, can be like, yeah, I just played a good half of basketball. And I just really have no explanation as to how we came out the gates so deflated, so lack of energy, lack of everything. It just seemed like we were completely uninterested in winning this game and in being there. Um, mind-boggling to me, and I looked
Really?
at
You don't
what do you guys think
understand how
about
that happened? I mean, before the game, you were talking about how we could lock it in that the Pistons were going to win by 20. Like this is the
shoot it,
mind,
yeah?
yeah, but that's the mind state of somebody that like you've ever played is pickup basketball where you come on with like five guys that you know are like, okay, I have a squad. I know all these guys, they're good, and there's a bunch of randos on the other team, and we're gonna crush this game. But then you play the first couple possessions and you turn it over, somebody hits a silly three-pointer on the other team, and suddenly you're down. And then like stuff's getting forced and like
Yeah, people get tight, and
people get tight.
Yeah, but
And
this
like
isn't pickup basketball. This is this.
like that is the mentality that went into this game. That's why like they didn't. That's
I
why this happened. Is that like they clearly thought that this game was a gimme,
as we
and
keep
there
being
are no gimmies.
negative for the meantime, I want to know what you guys thought about Asar Thompson. I didn't check a box score once during the game until after, and I was a little surprised to see his box score numbers. But I thought during the game, Asar I thought was really bad. I don't know if you guys
Really
have a
bad.
different view of that. I don't understand what value he provides in a half court offense, especially as the primary ball handler. I thought his
This
minutes. Go ahead.
that's part of the reason I think our off-ball movement was down is that Asar Thompson seems to have a
Mm,
changed role, and I don't like it. I like him as the off-ball demon. He created so much stuff for us. As a cutter, as a dunker spot guy, and he was one of the key culprits. I mean, he ended up having a pretty solid game, like plus minus wise. He killed the second half, but he was one of the big culprits of just like getting the guy get two steps on him when they just cut past him. Now he got like a
yeah,
sick block on
couple,
one
yeah.
of them, but like
Even the lob late in the game for Buzelis, that's him falling asleep on his cutter. Like that was prevalent the whole game. But I, him being the ball handler, like three times maybe he's coming off a screen, he's snaking a screen, and he's firing a mid-range jumper that we'd see K take. And I'm just like, what does he not understand like his game? Like why is that what we're going to for Asar Thompson? I know he banked a clutch one in, but like that's the only one I can genuinely think of. I just
in
I
who like
dislike the role he has right now. He needs to be off the ball 100%. You're right, Connie. Yeah, Gabe.
the problem is like when Cade was on the bench, Jalen Duren wasn't on the court. Who else handles the ball?
Jalen Duren. What? What do you mean, JD?
I mean, you could use
He
JD as
wasn't
like at
playing.
least like an
Like,
offensive hub. Yeah.
yeah,
Harris?
like it was just like no one else. There's like you really miss Ivy. You really miss just like a three from Beasley. You really miss Schluter, to be honest. Like when Cade wasn't on the ball, there was not much going on unless Ron Holland was causing a little chaos. But like I think it's just a problem. We don't have the a next like if JD isn't on it, like he was clearly not today. There's no one other than Cade who can really do stuff with the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah, at least for the
it would have been.
first.
I'm not saying he's the answer or the remedy to this whatsoever. I think having the privilege to have like 8, 12 Marcus Sasser minutes would have been helpful just to have a true
I
point out there. I
I
don't think
think
he's a
so.
huge difference maker, but that's why I would be really interested to see if we can get Dennis Jenkins some minutes against Houston
Why
on Friday.
why didn't either of them play, by the way?
Marcus
Why did
Sasser's out with hip tightness.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Soreness. He is not.
And,
He's on the injury report.
and
I
Jenkins is
don't
a
know why
G
Dennis.
League player.
Yeah, it's fine, Jenkins. I forgot he was injured. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I woke up at 2 a.m. to watch his game. Seems like these guys woke up at 2 a.m. as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
All
mean,
um,
right.
so I mean, is that enough
Yeah, it's enough negative.
Ron
negative here?
Holland's
Just
Because
first
I
half was garbage.
the
That's my last first half thing.
who?
Ron Holland's first half, only first half, I
Yeah,
thought
no,
abysmal.
he was awful.
so the
But then
Pistons
I
did
went to bed at
actually.
halftime because I was tired and we were down by 25 to the Bulls. Then I woke up again an hour later with like 5 minutes left and we're tied. So you guys want to fill
Yeah.
in what happened there?
Yeah, I
The
think it came from what our identity is, and our identity is defense. I think we started to wake up on that end and get some defensive stops, which led to a lot of baskets out in transition. Um, I thought Karis LeVert was really assertive in the second half. He had a string of getting to his spots. Um, yeah, I mean, but honestly, the two biggest things outside of like defense in terms of individual performances, you look at Ron Holland, you look at Isaiah Stewart. I think that's the reason
absolutely.
we came back into that game. Ron Holland, it bewildered me how Josh Giddey could just get to the hoop every time, spin. He has a weak handle. Finally, Ron Holland realized that. I think Ron stripped him like 2 or 3 times. And it seemed like why were we not just with this intensity in the beginning? And Isaiah Stewart, man, um, take a bow. Like seriously, 4 blocks to his name, and he's gonna jump every time, as we're shown with Buzelis.
He almost had
Absolutely,
5.
almost had it. Fair play to Buzelis. I like him. I really like that guy. Hell of a play. But Isaiah Stewart, 20 points, 10 boards, 4 blocks off the bench, 2 for 2 from deep.
My
His second
prediction.
one was clutch too. I really, really would love to see more investment of Isaiah Stewart playing with Jalen Duren, especially if we are struggling so mightily on the glass. Seems like a no-brainer to me to do that, or even just more minutes with him at the 5, because if I'm Jalen Duren, I would realistically be a little bit worried about my starting spot right now because Stu's gonna keep working and doing his thing every day, and if JD just keeps being complacent and being too cool for school, Stu's not gonna stop working. I know they're the dog pound, they're great friends, but and it's maybe my game one overreaction takeaway is we should consider the more minutes of Stu and the potential start of Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, that was like textbook everything you could possibly want from an Isaiah Stewart game. Duran goes out early, stinks it up. It was rough in the first, but like huge hammering dunks, hitting the three-pointer, just being absolutely everywhere. And yeah, like that's when I don't feel great about the half-court offense still, but like they just got stops and they got out and ran, and that's how they came back into this one. Uh, Ron was really nice.
Yeah,
Again,
speaking
like
of Stu starting,
most of his points again were just like running the fast break, getting out there. Yeah.
Um, I really, really like what I saw from Ron Holland though. I know we just touched on it, but um his poster I thought was kind of like a turning point on I think Jalen Smith with 2 hands was really nice. Hit a
Hmm.
huge 3-pointer to tie that game at 105. I really thought that was gonna be us coming back to officially win that game. Um, Ron Holland was excellent in the second half, and then that's I just really expect nothing other than that level of intensity right from the get-go when we're back at it on Friday in Houston. Anything short of it would just be unacceptable, really, I think. But any other positives you guys want to highlight? Things you guys thought were some silver linings in this? I thought the
Uh,
comeback itself, the effort to come back from 20 plus down, obviously
yeah.
not ideal, but to show that you can do that. And I thought specifically when it came down to crunch time, even though he was struggling a lot, Cade Cunningham got a lot of big buckets. I mean, the three he did hit had a tough little bank shot. I think he had 3 or 4 field goals there down the stretch. Kind of reinstilled a little bit of confidence after losing some of that confidence based on what was going down on the game and prior to that. But I like that he took over and almost willed us to a victory despite his struggles on the floor that game.
Yeah, he kicked it into gear nicely. The whole team kind of did. But like, I don't know if we should be lauded for a comeback against the Bulls.
No, not whatsoever.
Um, I don't. It's just one game, but I don't need to see Javante Green out there.
I thought he's a good defender, but yeah, his jumper, man.
Airball one three-pointer, and it made me so upset.
yeah, it was a
Yeah,
Um,
Malik Beasley pull.
and
yeah.
like this just can't be the offense. Like we got back into it getting stops and running, but like that's not going to happen every time. There needs to be some sort of viable way to get
Yeah.
half-court buckets right now.
They can still be the core of our identity to get buckets out on the run, but
But
absolutely.
yeah,
There needs to be more
like
fluidity, more intensity and like purpose with the offense. I thought it was just so lackadaisical. Um, really just overall hated what I saw. I didn't like the Uncle T. I don't want to get negative again. The Uncle T post ups, where they seemed
Too many.
explicitly
All
only
like
on
Jeremy
Patrick
Grant.
Williams too, and Patrick Williams was like the only guy who could probably defend him in that position. It's probably the only thing he can do, and we just kept going to it. I thought he was really bad to bias, but um, not the point. Sticking more positive though, yeah, I think it was a half decent effort to come back. I think Stewart and Ron Holland showed why they were in the dog pound. That's something to keep note of. And I think it going in a full-on copium thing, I think we're gonna go crazy in terms of intensity on Friday. And I just want to remind listeners and Pistons fans who want to overreact that we lost these guys. We started the year 0-4 last year after winning 14 games. Nobody was expecting us to make any kind of turnaround after that. We were 0-4 last year, so the ship has not sailed after one game. I think it's really important to remind ourselves of that, and we got to give these guys the chance to really prove what they can do.
All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I'm a little worried for Friday's game against the gigantic Houston
If we go
Rockets.
Adams and
Oh,
Şengün, we gotta go Stu Duran. I don't
We
think
have to.
man.
I mean, KD, Jabari Smith, Şengün, and Steve Adams.
that's gonna be a
I think
murder
this
on the
game's
board.
gonna be ugly, man. Şengün looks
Really good.
Şengün's gonna
Like
cook.
MVP
incredible.
candidate.
If
Yeah.
he's hitting threes like he did the last game, wow. I mean, this isn't Pistons, but do you guys watch Wemby?
Oh yeah, I watched
The
Wemby.
league is over.
It's so stupid. I don't like hitting. Oh my God. The one where he had Lively on him, he crosses right to left, takes him in, and then step back through the legs behind the back into the 3-pointer and one over Lively. I'm just like, oh yeah, sure.
All right, I gotta watch the highlights then.
Watch the
Watch
highlights.
those
It's the craziest 40-point game I've ever
he
seen.
made AD look like a child. Like that's a huge Mavericks team, and Wemby just yeah. Watch those highlights, and you'll see that he is. It's over.
All
Yeah.
right. Remember we had the worst record that year. Okay, guys. Well,
Good
that
night.
was game one of the Pistons season. We got 81 more to go. We're going to keep those buffs on because we still believe the future is bright.